So let us look at a sheet of charge, infinite sheet of charge. So if I took a charge here, 1 point, now this guy is going to say I'll send out lines like this, lines like that. I'll try to send out lines in all directions. Except if I try to send my lines in this direction, let's say like that, okay, then this point is going to say, wait a minute, you are occupying my space, push. Now this guy says, okay, I'll send it that way, this guy is going to push. I'm going to send it like this guy is going to push. So which way can I send? Okay, you send it like this. But I have so many lines to send. Yes, you have to send it like this, all of them. You have 10 lines to send here, you send it all like this. Because I have to send 10 lines like this. Now this works only if it is uniform. Because if this guy was more powerful than that fellow, that will say, no, I have space, I will push, you go somewhere else. But this guy is as powerful as that one and that is as powerful as this one. They are all equal. That's why we need uniform. If it is uniform, this line doesn't go that way, can't go that way, can't go that way, can't go that way, can't go that way. So where can it go? So if I had an infinite sheet, it's not a line, it's a sheet. Infinite. Now this charge cannot send lines like this or like this. It can't even do this, because if it tries to bend it like this guy is there. There's a charge sitting here, pushing it out. So what can it do? It can send it up. That's all. But it can send it down. And if it wants to keep it as far away, it will equally send it up and equally send it down. How much charge? Well, if you thought of this little thing as sigma into unit area, which means charge is sigma. Now, if I took this sigma into unit area, as I come up, it is sigma into unit area because all the lines are like this. For a sphere, as you are moving out, the area changes. You may have started with unit area, but as you move out, area is going to become 1 by r square, 4 pi r square. If you took a line, as you move out, 2 pi r, it's expanding in area, surface area. If you took this and you moved out, it doesn't change. Okay, so if I took an area here equal to A, how much charge did I have? Sigma A. How much lines? Sigma A by epsilon naught. And if I moved out like that, I have how much surface area? A. That's all. Move down. A. So half on that side and half on this side. So density of lines is number of lines by area. How much area? AA. 2A. And so you get sigma by 2 epsilon naught is the electric field. How far away? However far away. Because if you moved out here or there or there or here or here or here, it's the same thing. Half the lines on top, half the lines at the bottom. Instead of doing it like this, I could have also done it by saying I produce sigma by epsilon naught, sigma A by epsilon naught lines. Half of them go there. How many lines? Sigma by 2 epsilon naught, sigma A by 2 epsilon naught, shared by A. So sigma by 2 epsilon naught is the electric field. Is that understood? Suppose for some weird reason we manage to prevent these lines from coming down. Cut. So these lines can't go down. So what can they do then? Once you produce the lines, they have to go. But if it can't go down, what can it do? It has to go up. Then what will be the field there? Sigma by epsilon naught. How does one create such a thing? You don't need to do all that. What you can do is you took a nice sheet of charge and right now it was sigma by epsilon naught, 2 epsilon naught, sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Now I start to bend it. One possibility is to bend it like this. Now if line started going inside, there is a problem. What kind of problem? The original, remember the problem of going into a sphere? You can't go inside a cylinder either. Because if it goes inside, how will it come out? So earlier, which was happily going that way, as you start to bend this huge infinite sheet. Now how do you bend an infinite sheet is a good question. Okay, so but if I did bend an infinite sheet, then, see, remember this whole infinite business is only a relative idea. Is it infinite? Well, for a very tiny ant, this looks infinite. Now you may say it's a small paper, but that's because you are so much larger. Right? Things that, like if you say your house looks large, but if inside your house you take an elephant and keep it, the elephant will say very cramped space. Because for the elephant it's a cramped space. Right? So if you take this piece of paper, for somebody living there, for a very tiny thing, when you're very close by, this looks like an infinite sheet. So now if I took this infinite sheet and bent it, I have got an infinite cylinder. But the line can't come inside. Because now, because of the way I have constructed it, the lines can't go inside, because you know that then the lines will start to hit each other. So therefore what's going to happen? All the lines will now have to come out. So once you bend it, the lines will have to come out. And so what do you think will be the field there? Sigma by epsilon naught. Because if you get very close to the surface of an infinite cylinder, the field will be sigma by epsilon naught. If you get very close to the surface of a sphere, lines can't go inside. The lines have to come outside. So what does it look like? Sigma by epsilon naught. If I took a sphere and just outside I ask you what is the field, I know that this looks like an infinite surface. Ideally for an infinite surface it should be able to go outside and inside. But that was because both sides are nice and equal. But if I say no, I'm not letting any lines come that way for some reason, then all the lines have to come out. How many lines? Sigma A by epsilon naught lines, shared by how many people? A. Shared by how much area? A. So the field here must be sigma by epsilon naught. But we already know the answer to that question, no? It's like a point charge. So if I had a uniform sphere with sigma, you know the answer is like a point charge. How much point charge? 4 pi r square sigma. That much charge. And the field here must be q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So q by, this is q, by epsilon naught r square. 4 pi epsilon naught r square, right? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square, not epsilon naught r square. So if you look at this, 4 pi and 4 pi cancels out, leaving what? But we derived this in a different way. It looks like an infinite surface, except no lines can go inside, so all lines have to come outside. You are very close by. This is also true for very close by. But if you decide you will go there and watch this, it no longer looks like an infinite surface. So that answer and this answer will differ. Because that answer is only true for infinite surface. If you are very close by, every surface looks like an infinite surface. Is this okay? Is that clear?
Sir, where does the 2A come from?
Because half the lines go that side, half the lines come here. So since half the lines go there, that area is A, this area is A, so you count it as double. Either you can say 1 by 2A, or you can say only half went that way, right? So sigma A by epsilon naught by 2 by A. So either you put the 2 here and then put an A here, or you keep the whole thing and divide by 2, it's the same thing. So everybody followed this? Yes? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we will just quickly summarize some of these. Okay, then we will No break. Okay, I don't want to do 2 classes for Gauss law. So we don't have too much time. So we'll continue and finish Gauss law. Okay, so first, lines try to be as far away as possible. Lines start on positive charges. Lines end on negative charges. So if I had a point charge, can everybody use their hands now? If you have point charge, quickly imagine how the lines will be. How many lines? Q. How many lines? Q by epsilon naught. Use your hands. Why are you looking at my hands? Come on. Everybody please use your hands. Okay. So you have Q and it's spreading out like that. Now I want you to get an intuitive feel of this. How many lines are there? Q by epsilon naught, because the number of lines does not change. How much area is there? 4 pi r square. So Q by epsilon naught by 4 pi r square. So Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Thin line, lambda. Take 1 meter. How much? Lambda. Charge is lambda. How many lines? Lambda by epsilon naught. Now these lines can't go this way, can't go that way. So they are going out like this. They are not spreading. They are spreading only like this. This thing is going to be constant. If at that point I took unit length, this length is also 1. But what about this? 2 pi r. So what about this area? 2 pi r into 1. So 2 pi r is the area. How many lines? Whatever started here is going to end there. How many lines? Lambda by epsilon naught. So lambda by epsilon naught by 2 pi r. Is that clear? Okay. Now, so that gives you the formula for it. Lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r for a line charge, infinite line charge. Where did the infinity come from? From the fact that all of it was going like that and nothing was turning around like this. Why can't it turn around? Why can't it go like this for some time and then turn around? Because when you go around like this and then try to turn around, that fellow is waiting there for you. That guy is also gone there. No, that's why it's infinite. For a finite line charge, it may start like this, but then that fellow has more space. Then as it moves out, this will also move out. So for a finite line charge, this is not correct. For an infinite line charge, it is. For a shell, lines can't come inside because then there's no place to go. So what is the field inside a shell? 0. What about field outside? Well, they're all going out radially. If the total charge is Q, then far away, that is, this was the shell, you go there, how many lines are coming out? Q by epsilon naught. Nothing going in, so all of them there and uniformly distributed. Over how much area? 4 pi r square. What is Q? Q is the total charge here. Now the total charge might be in terms of this R. It's a different R, that's a different R. Field inside 0, field outside is like a point charge, Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. R from the center. Because that surface area doesn't care whether it was this distance or, right? That surface area is 4 pi this distance square. It's not this. It is from here. Okay? Will this even matter? Yeah, that may matter to calculate the charge. If I had an infinite sheet, lines have to just go up like that and go down like this. If there is nothing up and down, all the lines will basically go like that. Now, once you know these lines, sigma unit area, so what is the charge? Sigma into 1. It's coming out like this. It's shared over how much? Sigma by epsilon naught comes out, but half of it goes that way. How much comes out? Sigma by 2 epsilon naught lines go that way. Sigma by 2 epsilon naught lines go this way, shared over unit area. So sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Sigma by 2 epsilon naught. If for some reason you took these lines and made them go that way, that will become sigma by epsilon naught. But that won't happen naturally. You have to do some construction around it. If somebody asks you what happens to an infinite sheet, the field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Because the lines will go both ways. Why is it that the field doesn't reduce as you go up? Because for an infinite sheet doesn't reduce, right? For line, as you go out, it basically becomes 1 by r. For a sphere, it goes out as 1 by r square. For a sheet, it is sigma by epsilon naught, sigma by epsilon naught, sigma by epsilon naught, sigma by epsilon naught. Why is it not reducing? Because you are not changing your area, it's not getting shared at all. But why is it not getting shared? Now that question can come from lines, but from lines it's very obvious. But probably the question is coming from Coulomb's law. Because Coulomb's law it decreases. But if I go up, shouldn't it decrease? It should. But what is happening is if you took an infinite sheet and very close to the sheet, when you're very close to the sheet, all those guys have fields which are almost cancelling out like this. They're all pointing like that. Only things that contribute are things which are close by, because they are the ones pointing this way. Otherwise these guys didn't contribute. When you move out a little bit, these guys, a little larger radius, is able to point has a component vertically. Because those guys will still have an angle which is like this. If you go further out, the angle starts to look like that. So no contribution that way. So as you keep going up, while the distance is increasing, more and more charges, a larger circle basically has a better angle. So has a better component that way. So while the actual field value is decreasing, the component of the field vertically is actually becoming better, because a larger number is going to have a, so like if you are this far away, even that is good, this is good, all of them will have a component. If you are this close, this guy's contribution is 0, because even if the field is like this, its cos theta component in that direction is 0, because it's 90, cos 90. Do you follow what I am saying? So while the distance is increasing, the angle is becoming better. So if I took this and I moved out this far, now all of this will contribute. If I was very close, only the closest things will contribute. All the others are at a very bad angle. So one is contributing like this, another is contributing like that. Anyway their horizontals will cancel, but their verticals are already 0. Such a small vertical. But if I took this point and put it there, now this length is a little more, this length is less, and this length is more. But it is still pointing in that direction. Its component is not bad. If you took this, it's a big vector, but horizontal, almost horizontal. This is a smaller vector, but it is not horizontal, so it has a vertical component. Ultimately, what is going to add up here is vertical components. So while the distance is going up, exactly these two effects cancel out. Okay, now that part you can do with integration and check it out. But the field lines approach tells us very clearly that the lines can't change because there is no area changing. So if the lines start like this, 10 lines start like this, the 10 lines keep going. They are not spreading out. So here, there, the field must be the same. Superposed field, net field must be the same. Field lines tell you the idea of net field straight away. So I hope so far it's clear. Whatever we just derived, all of these are important results. Okay, what we have just done is to get a feel for how we get these results.